Welcome back to my channel. I'm a provisional psychologist in Australia, and today we will talk about Britney Spears, specifically her mental health and how past events have led to her current mental state. Well, friends, let's break it down. Britney Spears is one of the most striking clinical cases we can observe in real time. This isn't just about a diagnosis or a mental illness. We are talking about legal incapacitation, the highest level of legal and medical control, beyond which there is almost nothing. Yet, despite being officially deemed incapable of making decisions, she continued to perform concerts, judge on X Factor, and actively work. So, calling her completely incapacitated is also inaccurate. The real question is, where do we draw the line between mental illness and external control? It is highly likely that Britney Spears has bipolar disorder, a condition that affects mood stability and impulse control. Additionally, her past history of substance use could have further destabilized her condition, making her even more vulnerable. One of the most telling signs of her mental state is her paranoid delusions. These did not develop out of nowhere, though. Britney was, in fact, being followed and scrutinized constantly. Paparazzi, fans, the legal system, and even her own family closely monitored her every move. Under such extreme pressure, even an ordinary person would struggle, but for someone already prone to mania or paranoia, self-regulation becomes nearly impossible. Beyond paranoia, her emotional instability is evident in her social media behavior. One moment she appears euphoric and free-spirited, and the next she is deeply upset or lashing out. This fits the classic profile of bipolar disorder, where mood swings can be unpredictable and intense. And what is the most concerning is her lack of insight into her own condition. A critical aspect of mental illness is whether a person recognizes their need for treatment. Those people who do often seek medication adjustments when they notice their symptoms worsening. Britney, however, does not seem to display this level of self-awareness, suggesting a severe lack of insight. Now let's talk how her surroundings influenced her mental state. Let's be honest, mentally ill individuals are vulnerable, and there will always be people who take advantage of them. Britney is rich, talented, and unfortunately incredibly easy to manipulate. Her father played a significant role in controlling her, using medication as a tool for compliance. Reports suggest she was given lithium, a common treatment for bipolar disorder. However, when misused or overprescribed, lithium can make a person extremely compliant and emotionally numb. Then there is the conservatorship, which was justified under the premise that she was a danger to herself. But if she was truly that incapable, why was she still allowed to work? Who benefited financially from her Vegas residency and countless performances? The contradiction is glaring. To put things into perspective, let's compare her case to Kanye West, who has a diagnosed bipolar disorder. Despite his public breakdowns and erratic behavior, no one has stripped him of his rights or taken his children away. Why was Britney treated so differently? The answer likely lies in control. Who had something to gain from keeping her legally incapacitated. Someone had something to gain from keeping her legally incapacitated. Now let's talk about her underdeveloped life skills and regression. There are clear signs that Britney in many ways remained a helpless child in certain aspects of life. For instance, she reportedly didn't even know what Google was until 2005, when Paris Hilton introduced her to it. While this may sound unbelievable, it aligns with the idea that she was never taught fundamental life skills. From a young age, she was under strict control. She didn't need to learn independence because every decision was made for her. Her lack of real-world experience meant she was never truly independent. Imagine growing up in an environment where you are treated like a doll, where finances, career decisions, and even personal relationships are orchestrated by others. She was never given the chance to plan her own life, leaving her completely unequipped for adulthood. This also explains her attraction to pseudoscience. Britney's reading list includes books like The Power of Fasting and The Power of Thought, typical choices for someone desperately seeking simple answers to complex problems. Without a clinical thinking foundation, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing in magical solutions. Perhaps most telling is her fascination with kinetic sand. She once stated that playing with kinetic sand was one of the best things in her life. Don't you think that for a global superstar, this statement is unsettling? It suggests a developmental regression where she finds comfort in childlike activities, a sign that emotionally she may have never fully matured. Now let's talk about her sexuality and relationship with Justin Timberlake. Britney's image was carefully constructed from childhood, both by her family and the entertainment industry. She was meant to be both the innocent girl and the hypersexual pop star. This duality is a classic industry formula. First, she was marketed as a pure all-American girl, and then, as she matured, she was transformed into an overly sexualized performer. Her first serious relationship with Justin Timberlake was deeply significant. What seemed like a fairy tale romance ended in a public humiliation. After their breakup, Timberlake revealed intimate details about their relationship, shattering her carefully created American Virgin image. Britney was both judged for being sexual and forced to capitalize on it. She had no say in how her image was handled. Her persona was designed by others and she was expected to conform. Like many children from unstable households, Britney sought emotional escape through early commitment. She likely viewed Timberlake as a source of stability, but when that relationship collapsed, it left her even more vulnerable. Now let's talk about Sam Asgari and Britney. Sam Asgari stayed with Britney throughout her conservatorship, but this was no coincidence. While she remained under strict legal control, there were no complaints from him. However, Britney was never an easy person to be with. If she had been with someone equally eccentric, say Ozzy Osbourne, their dynamic might have made sense. But Sam was the opposite, a disciplined, fitness-focused, well-groomed man who cared deeply about his public image. Britney, on the other hand, was never known for tidiness or self-presentation. Even before she lost her legal rights, she was frequently seen in unkempt outfits with messy nails and a disregard for high fashion, despite having every resource available. Unless professionally styled, her appearance was erratic and unpolished. A man who prioritizes status, self-improvement, and image, is he likely to be genuinely in love with someone who completely neglects all of it? Perhaps at first he was drawn to her charisma and fame, but living with someone battling serious mental illness takes an enormous toll. Now that their relationship has ended, Sam claims Britney was abusive. But after 6 years together and just 1 year of marriage, he suddenly paints himself as a victim. It's clear-cut opportunism. He endured the relationship when it benefited him, and when it no longer did, he walked away, seeking financial compensation despite their prior agreement. The truth is that Britney had very few relationship options. How many men would willingly take on the responsibility of being with someone in her condition? Now let's talk about what happens next. Predicting Britney's future is difficult. Despite her erratic behavior on Instagram, her official statements remain relatively coherent. This suggests that she still retains the ability to function well, a skill she was trained for since childhood. At the same time, concerning behaviors persist: increased alcohol consumption, possible substance use, and poor eating habits. Given these patterns, hospitalization seems likely. In conclusion, Britney Spears remains one of the most complex and high-profile mental health cases in modern celebrity culture. She needs long-term professional support, a stable environment, and protection from those who continue to exploit her. If you found this analysis insightful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more in-depth psychological discussions on celebrities and mental health and psychology of relationships and so on and so forth. Look after yourself and your loved ones, and I will see you in next videos.